Hello and welcome everybody to 2003. 2003, golf companies were full send, let's have visible tech. So Ping is a great example. We're going to put like weights, like old persimmons, but we're going to rivet this little decal back here with our logo, and we're going to make it look like, and then same with their irons, right? Their G2 irons, where they were like, we're going to make big fat soles that you can see, and then we're going to put this huge dampening, weight in the back to make it sound better. We're going to show you it all on the outside. And we still see that today, okay? Today, though, we're in a transition period, right? So it was visible tech for decades, from like 2000, and it really hit its peak, I think, in like 2003. It really started to like be fully embraced 2003. And then slowly companies were like, let's start hiding our tech. So you get like the TaylorMade 790 irons, right? 770 irons. Where they're like, we'll make hollow body irons now and try to hide the tech. Sweep that under the rug, okay? So this is really an interesting era that I really find interesting. And the Ping Si3, it's a big fat titanium driver with a deep face. It looks really forgiving, and it does still have a funny plastic ferrule. Speaking of which, let's get this on the review table and have a closer look. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but it does say Ping down here, etched in titanium, over Si3, 380, that's the volume, 380 cc's, forged titanium, 9 degrees, so they put the degree here, and then there's a black dot representing the lie. Okay, that's pretty interesting. You can see the wavy paint lines, which take you back to this insert right here. So you can see there are it looks like there are two little Torx screws holding this plastic insert into place. That's what it looks like. And there's a little holographic action going on here with the S holograms. Laser holograms were all the craze in the 2000s. So yeah, kind of interesting. Continue around the skirt here on the toe. It says Ping on the toe. So it's in your bag. It's just branding right there. Very clean. Same thing with the grooves right here. Very much just aesthetics. It kind of mimics the shape, the U or V shape. Face inserts from the persimmon era. And you'll see there are two little white lines in addition to that on either side. Wingmen. And then we have the plastic ferrule right here. This is, I think, actually the plastic extends down into the head. I don't remember if it was this exact model, but I remember seeing these for sale in Golf Works and Golfsmith catalogs. It's like Ping ferrule replacements if you're going to reshaft your club. So that, it's kind of interesting. And it has this goofiness where they do this where the head extends past the shaft. That's just that was the convention of the time. So we're going to slide up the shaft. This is a Ping branded shaft. You can see some patents right here. Si3 S-Flex. So the original shaft. I put the sticker on here to remind me the year, 2003. And Goodwill put this sticker on so they could sell it to me for $4.99 plus tax plus roundup. So here's the Ping grip. I think this one is the original one. I'm not sure. It actually feels pretty good, so maybe not super original. Ping. You can see right here. Ping, what does that say? i3 Lite is what it says. On the butt. The butt of that joke. So, it feels okay. And on that note, let's see how okay it feels when I hit it on the range. Ping Si3 in the house. Ping. When I think of Ping, I think of a lot of things. Like, I think of old drivers, I think of the laminates. The Ping i2, Karsten, Zing. And then I jump instantly from the classic laminates to like the G2. And I just kind of pretend these don't exist. I'm just like, yeah, there were some weird clubs in between. Let's just not talk about them. The steel ones, some of the early titanium ones. 2003, I mean, this is right before the G2 comes out. And it looks like a little mini version of a big golf club. There's a K on here. It's a line with an arrow, but it looks like a K. It looks deep. There's sky marks all over it, so it's not like in pristine condition or anything. Shaft is fine. I left the Goodwill sticker on here.
Most of the time when I want a club, I go buy it on eBay because I'm looking for something specific. But occasionally I find something that's on my list at Goodwill. I'm like, oh, I'll take that. $5. Price and availability subject to change at your local thrift store. So yeah, there's nothing offensive about it. The head looks good. The heel sticks out a little bit right here past this weird ferrule. It doesn't bother me too much. The shaft is weird though. It says S-flex. S-I, S-flex. I assume that means stiff, but it's really flexible for a stiff flex, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not a shaft expert, but has it changed in the last 20 years? Let me know in the comments below. This is what? 21 years old now? If you're 21 years old, in the comments, let us know. You're as old as this club. You were born when this club was being sold. All right, let's see what comes out. I'm just going to take a swing. And, you know, every club seems to, I react different to it. So I just want to see what comes out of this one with its pseudo stiff flex shaft. Oh, lovely. That's kind of my normal, it's a shot I look for on the golf course is a slight fade. If I would have aimed up the left, that would be in the fairway. If I would have aimed straight, that would have been on the right side a little bit there. Uh-oh, it just occurred to me there's a person out there with a ball retriever collecting all these stray golf balls. It looks like. I don't think that's the drinks cart. Try to be respectful here and not hit one into them. All right, so the shape I got out of it is a very modern shape that I would expect out of a modern driver from what I hit. So let's see if that's reproducible. That's the hardest thing for me to do with drivers, is reproduce anything. See, there was a pulley hook, snap hook. Dear Ben Hogan, I can relate. I need to read your book, How to Avoid Snap Hooks. What is it with, you know, making these videos? Recently, I also heel shanked some old, oh, it was the McGregor, I think it was the 75W iron. Center of gravity on that thing was weird. And now I'm like snap hooking. That was not a reviewable. Is it forgiving? Yeah, but not for the snap hook. Like I hit that pretty well. I think this is my ball mark up here. So I hit it high on the face, which should lead to a, you know, a big high, low spin ball, but I pulled it. So, all right, straight thoughts. Think straight thoughts. There we go. Ever so slight fade shape to it, but I did pull it a little bit. Carried over 200. The data will be at the end. So stay tuned to the end. I'll show the data collection. It's only like 3 shots, but either way, it's something. So you get an idea of what I'm hitting. So yeah, it is not the prettiest. It does have a wonky shaft. It is during this era where they're just starting to get into the 460cc drivers. And Ping made an okay alternative here with this one, with a funny ferrule and a funny shaft and a deep face. And, you know, you're looking to see what life was like right before we hit that 460 craze. This is it. I would love hitting this, maybe I'll make a video, but I'd love hitting this next to a G2 and like a Cleveland launcher and just see how it steps. Because to me, one of the interesting things about this era is how every year they were coming out with improvements that were noticeable. Nowadays, all the clubs are 460cc, you know, and the changes are so minute. They're just these incremental marginal gains that you're getting, where back then it was big steps. So I want to see the difference. Maybe I'll do that, make a video, this compared to like the G2 and the Cleveland launcher. Anyway, let me know if you want to see that. Let me know your thoughts and memories. Let us know if you're 21 years old, like this club. And I'm excited to read all that information in the comments below.
I remember when these came out. I remember looking in catalogs. It was Golfsmith's catalogs. They had Golfsmith Club Building and they had Golfsmith Pro Line. So I was looking through the Pro Line equipment, right? And I would see this. The biggest problem with this, the Si3, was the G2. You know, as a newish golfer, somebody who was always trying to improve my game, I was always looking at the G2. This was just a footnote. This is the SI what? Who cares? You know, SI who? So the SI3 Never had a chance in my mind, all right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Sometimes people like smaller. To this day, TaylorMade still makes the mini version. I think, doesn't Ping, is it Ping or Callaway? One of them, one of their triple diamond, quadruple diamond, whatever, is it Callaway, who has like a slightly smaller driver? Does Ping make a slightly smaller driver? Anyway, they do make smaller drivers now. Not massively, not 380cc. I think they're now like, oh, maybe they are. Anyway, like I think one is like 440. I don't remember which one. But so there is still a following for smaller drivers. Now, today, looking back into history, the Si3. Okay, the Si3 was not on my radar at all. But now when I hit it, I realized this is a really good driver. I don't feel like I would gain anything. It was all marketing. Bigger is better. But comparing face to face, I'm not sure I'm getting much more surface area with the G2. And what was I missing by not hitting this? So this was an under the radar, underrated, probably undersold, kind of goofy Ping driver. So in the driver world, I can only think of a couple of experiences where I was like, I'm glad I had those experiences. Where you want to experience something different in the driving world of golf, I would say everybody should be able to hit a solid persimmon out of the screws. That just solid clack and that like the sound and the feel of it, you're just like, woo, I did that. The other thing that really stands out to me is I love the tin can sound of the Nike Sumo Square drivers. Ka-tonk! It's just like everybody is like, what was that? That was loud. I loved that experience. Kind of hurt my ears. You don't want to do it all day. But once or twice, it's worth it because you're just like, it makes you appreciate and realize, oh, these other drivers are okay. So, do I feel like this is an experience that everybody should go out and explore? No, it's not. But it is really good for what it is. And I totally ignored it at the time because of marketing, right? 460cc. So now the obvious question is, what do we have today? We can learn from the past, right? So what do we have today that's underrated? People say the Cleveland drivers. People say the Mizuno drivers are inexpensive and underrated. All right, let me know your thoughts. Time will tell. Is it like the Ping Si3? Or is there really good golf equipment that people are just like, oh, let's follow the lemmings off the marketing cliff? The G2 isn't bad, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this is just, in my opinion, as good. So, excited to read your comments. As usual, a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Another way you can support this channel is by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. Stay tuned for a few shots in the simulator here at the end. I am the Vintage Golfer. I'll see you in the next one.